Sup? I'm Corey.
I'm Matt.
You're Matt. Okay.
Yeah,
Put that down. That can go up a little. Today we're going to be playing A Mortician's Tale, a game where you are a mortician.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be looking at kind of a more serious approach to death in video games.
From what I saw briefly, it was a mix of serious and lighthearted.
Yeah. But it's not like...
It's respectful.
It's not like, this is a shooter, I make dead bodies, and sometimes I teabag them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like most games.
Like most games. Or this game took me like 1,000 deaths. And then you just respawn immediately. So
Yeah. Usually dead bodies don't stick around in video games.
they're resource intensive.
Mhm.
You don't need them.
Yeah.
New game. Like the little skull loady.
Mm-hmm. Got an email, but I don't see any dead bodies yet. Oh, it's for me, Matthew Jeffrey. And I guess you're Charlie.
I'm Charlie.
Welcome, Charlie. Nice to meet you. My name's Matthew, and I'm mainly going to be the man who delivers the bodies to you and helps with some of the more heavy lifting. Have you heard that joke about a hearse driver? I'll tell it to you when I come by in a bit. Looking forward to working together. I think you'll enjoy working here. Amy is a sweetheart, but she runs a tight ship. Nothing you can't handle, I'm sure. She wouldn't have hired you otherwise. Cheers and good luck. So that's the funeral director.
Yeah. In response to this, from Amy Rose to Rose and Daughters.
The Sonic character?
Yes. Just like the Sonic character.
Mm-hmm.
Hello everyone, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our new funeral director, Charlotte, or Charlie, as she told me she likes to be referred to. Charlie is a recent graduate who came highly recommended and is eager to begin her career here with us at Rose and Daughters Funeral Home. Please take the time to make Charlie feel at home within our little family. We'll have a nice catered lunch this afternoon so we can get to know each other. Instructions. Hello, Charlie. Well, you're new here, so it's probably best I explain where everything is. In your office preparation room, you'll find your cremation station, cremulator station, embalming station, and obviously, since you're reading this email, your desk and computer area. Now you have experience working in these stations, but please let me know if you have any questions.
Yes, we both have experience working in these stations. Wow, everyone's really wordy today.
Yeah.
Good luck, you beautiful and smart babe, you. I guess my subject lines to you should start being more professional now that we are business professionals. I can't wait to get your reply so I can see your fancy new email signature. I love that you're able to land this gig straight after graduating. It sounds super cool. I didn't even know mom and pop funeral homes were a thing until now. I guess it's not just something I really think that much about. I should look more into this, learn more about your world and industry, because as I said, you are now a very serious professional. Speaking of being a professional, my museum gig is amazing. I can't believe somebody paid me to move to London, and not London, Ontario, serial killer capital of Canada, to work in a museum. Like, take that, everyone who said I couldn't get a job with an art history degree. I'll tell you more about it when we get Skype. My stories require you to see my face so that you can hear my excellent British accent impersonation. Also, I send you up to Funeral's monthly newsletter. Consider it your graduation gift. I love you. I'm super proud of you. Gift. Love you, love you, love you, Jen L. Hart, Museum Curator of London Pathology Museum.
That's an interesting. So maybe they were classmates.
Mm-hmm.
And Corvus has looked up what a cremulator is for us. It's a device to grind the bone fragments that remain after cremation into fine powder. And that explains a lot about what ashes look like. Like, sometimes you'll find lumps and chunks, but usually it's just like powder.
They get cremulated.
They get cremulated. Apply with an auto response.
Those are always fun to
Oh,
do.
God.
We didn't read it.
I didn't read it. No. Okay, today. Hello, Charlie. Hope you settled in okay so far. Matthew should have dropped off your first body for you to work on. He said
did.
you're really friendly, and he's glad to have someone young and lively to work with instead of old and dead. You'll get used to his sense of humor. Your first body is Mrs. Garcia, an elderly woman who died suddenly of a heart attack. The family has asked for a closed casket funeral, so no embalming or body preparation is necessary. Family seems a little more united than previous families we've dealt with. Strange how grief affects people differently. Perhaps having more time to say goodbye makes things a bit easier if that's possible. That being said, although you will not be embalming Mrs. Garcia, I do think it's important to take time to clean her body. No one is going to see her body, but I like to encourage my funeral directors to do this out of respect for the deceased and their loved ones. You'll find Mrs. Garcia in the prep room. Talk to you soon. Then we can see the requests from the family.
From Mia Garcia. Dear Amy, we're happy to be with Rose and daughters for my mother's funeral. We understand that there are usually procedures that must be followed in these situations, but if you could kindly not embalm my mother, that would be greatly appreciated. And we will proceed with a closed casket for the service. I just know she wouldn't have wanted her death to have any negative impact on the environment, and since she fought so hard to beat her heart disease and to live healthily, it'd be a shame to have her final moments on the counter, be on the counter, be counter to the way she lived. That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for anything you can do to help us in this matter. Best, Mia.
You were talking to me before the stream about someone you binged that was trying to, support a green approach to all of this.
Death. I think they actually founded the Good Death Society or something. It's a YouTube channel called Ask a Mortician. I, a month ago, binged videos on it. And, today, I'm just subbing in last minute for Cam on this stream. And it happens to be about morticians and mortuaries and dead bodies. It's very interesting, and it's not a topic you usually think about. So
let's see these etiquette tips from this thing our friend subscribed us to. Thank you for subscribing. Each month we bring you a newsletter featuring a topic pertaining to the death industry. This month is all about good etiquette for attending a funeral. Really can't believe we have to write this one out, but since we said we'll answer your most popular questions, here we are, because this is definitely one of the most popular questions. Funerals are a hard time, and we understand that, but here are some quick and easy rules to remember for being respectful at a funeral, generally following the guidelines of don't be a jerk. Should work. Don't be on your cell phone. Understand you're busy, but this is a time and place to disengage. If you have to be on your cell phone, don't do it inside the funeral home. Don't be loud and obnoxious. You can share happy stories, but other people are also grieving and working through their own healing process. Being quiet gives other people space they might need. Number 3, don't get drunk. Everyone can deal with their feelings in their own ways. Just remember to be respectful with the grieving family and friends. Number 4, happily reminisce. Sometimes remembering happy moments and positive experiences with the deceased can be a productive part of the healing process. Give condolences. It's not easy knowing what to say to someone, but even a simple "I'm thinking of you" can go a long way. Number 6, dress appropriately. What this looks like will change based on the customs of the deceased and their culture, but always dress in a way that shows respect to the deceased and their grieving family. Give a gift or sign at sign the registration book. This can be flowers or a nice card, but it's the thought that counts here. Sometimes this can even be just cooking dinner for the grieving family. Anything that shows you care and want to help them through the healing process. So these are not necessarily just, this is a newsletter not just for morticians, I'm assuming. Because I don't know if I want someone at a funeral home cooking me dinner. Getting the catering is fine.
that sounds like it's for people who go to funerals.
Jeez. Yeah, funerals are expensive.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
No, I bought flowers for a funeral thing once, and that was not a good choice on a student's salary.
Flowers are also not cheap. Oh, there she is.
Yeah, here's Mrs. Garcia. Can I go to her? Okay, let's wash this body. This is the prep room where you will prepare bodies for burials and viewings. Because the family has requested a closed casket ceremony with no embalming, you're just going to clean the body. Click on the sponge and drag the body. Drag it. Squishy, squish.
That's a great sound effect I'm hearing.
Yes. Okay, that's it. You're done. Mrs. Garcia will be sent to Mike, who will take care of dressing and putting her in the casket. Okay. Time to go to Mrs. Garcia's funeral. You're responsible for taking care of the deceased's body, but it's also important to pay your respects to their loved ones. Follow the arrow and head to the funeral parlor. Huh.
I never really know how to, like, what to do in these situations.
Well, don't get drunk.
Yeah.
Don't be loud. She would have hated these paintings. She was so particular. Yeah, at least she doesn't have to see them, I guess.
That's... yeah, I guess.
What about this man?
We usually don't small talk a lot at these things. At least that's what I was always taught.
I hate wearing pantyhose. My legs are so itchy, but it's nice. It's always cold in these funeral homes.
I think I might actually miss those sweaters she used to knit for me now.
Huh, so we actually learn a little bit about our subject.
Mommy, I'm hungry. When can we go?
I've been that child.
Yeah. Hungry. Yeah, I heard the family specifically said no embalming. I thought it was mandatory, like required by law, but I guess not. It is not.
Embalming weirds me out. Did those chemicals leach into the ground? Seems strange to be building a chemical that is known to cause cancer into the ground like that.
Or into the sewer. That's what they must do with the leftover formaldehyde, right? Just pour it down the drain? I don't think they do.
At least the embalming guarantees you won't be buried alive.
Stop it. Don't make me laugh right now.
Alright. So, should I...
Well, we haven't interacted with the casket? Like...
Yeah, that's the only thing I can do. Just gonna pay her respects and go back. Nice.
No one talked to us.
No. Just sitting here cleaning.
Oh, we got a couple emails. I am so frustrated, RN. From Jennifer Valentine to Charlie. Okay, so let me explain this in a bit more detail. A colleague and I were discussing the tight lacer's liver specimen we have here at the museum. It's from a woman who died in 1907, and the liver is tapered inwards from what the doctor leading the autopsy believed was too tight lacing on her corset. It's fascinating because it's kind of a controversial topic. Tight lacing was super popular, and while people associated it with fainting or hysteria, it's actually been associated with visceroptosis, which is when the organs fall to the lower part of the abdomen, right? Which is super unsettling, but can also be caused by being pregnant. So, TLDR, corsets probably messed up some bones, but likely didn't do this kind of internal organ damage. And I'm tired of the condescension about my wardrobe that also implies I don't know what I'm doing. These are the kinds of things I specifically research, and yet I am treated like I know nothing about. I'm having a day, Charlie. It's a whole thing? Can I rant for just a second? I'm so tired of hearing strangers, colleagues, anybody, male colleagues, get on my case for wearing corsets. I wear them under my blazer and over a nice blouse, so it's not like I'm dressing inappropriately, even though dress codes are such sexist BS anyways. And like, I hate how their misogyny gets veiled in faux concern. Jen, I'm just worried you're damaging your body. You know what corsets do to livers, right? Corsets don't do anything to livers. They're definitely not hurting me as much as your condescension is hurting my head. Sorry, I'm out of sorts right now. I'll send you another email in a little bit when I've cooled off a bit.
So, when I was in Philadelphia, I went to the Mutter Museum of Physicians, but they have this sample. They have the sample she talked about, the liver that was compressed.
It's a weird connection.
So you can go
there.
look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, among other things. I have poor reactions to specific things. Like, I get lightheaded and kind of, I go into shock, actually, if I see certain things. And so I went to the Mutter Museum on my own.
On your own.
On my own, because people weren't able to go with me. And yeah, there's like a wall of skulls, and you can see so many fetuses in jars, and this liver and other organs, and imprints of organs, and like.
And you just fainted every time you saw
skin
something.
samples from like early tattoos and models that are made to represent what certain illnesses look like. They're wax models, but they're preserved in the same way that like the actual organs would be, so they're really hard to distinguish. Oh, yeah, no, I got a big headache and I had to have a lie down at the end of that, but that was mostly from the part of the exhibit where they show damage to bones caused by bullets during like the Civil War.
Oh, like they ossify when they're trying to heal?
Well, yeah, they had a lot of that. And they also had the skeleton of a guy that had a specific disease, like genetic thing where like whenever he would get injured or something, his bones would grow and like his joints all fused.
Yeah.
So I got to see that, but yeah, no, this was like you'd have like a femur or forearm or something like that, and like they put the bullet and they wired the bones back together so you could see how the bones broke from the impact, but you could also see like the bullet that caused the damage.
Fun.
Yep.
You enjoyed being there, I can tell.
Yeah, it was great.
You learned so much.
Yeah, other than like they kind of glance at something to be like, can I look at this? No. Take a few steps. Can I look at this? Yes, I can look at that. But
that is such a minefield.
Yeah.
Why did you do that to yourself alone?
It was recommended to me by a friend.
That friend knows you very well, I can see.
Yeah. This time I'll read the directions before clicking ahead. Here are the instructions for your next body. You did a remarkable job on the first one. The family was very happy with you. No small feat, of course. Pleasing the grieving family isn't exactly the most comfortable of jobs. Your next job is a man named Mr. Duval. An elderly man, died of old age. Nothing fancy, just a standard funeral with embalming. You can reach out to his daughter Lizzie Duval if you have any questions. She's handling her father's passing as well as you can be expected. As always, don't hesitate to ask for questions. P.S. Charlie, dear, please remember to wear proper embalming gear. Formaldehyde is extremely dangerous. I know I don't need to tell you, but my maternal instincts are hard to ignore. I promise I won't mother you too much. Just a little. Ask Matthew. He knows.
I do.
You're just every Matthew?
Yeah. We're all the same person.
Let's see what the other emails are.
From Matthew Jeffrey, a story about death. Hey there, Charlie. I was driving around the other day, taking our clients on their last trip around town, and I was thinking, strange I know, did I ever tell you the first time I went to a funeral? I was a teenager about to start university, and a friend of mine was killed in a car accident totally out of the blue. Really tragic stuff, messed me and my friends up real good. But so the big day, we all got into our best suits and dresses and packed ourselves into a few cars. There were a lot of us, so we had at least 3 different cars full of us, like clown cars, While we're in the procession going to the cemetery, somebody in our car got a phone call from a friend in a different car. Turns out some asshat driver who doesn't know to not get in the way of her procession drove through the intersection and smashed straight into our friend's car. Nobody was hurt, thank God, but can you imagine getting that call? Anyways, one of my friends in the same car as me, the one who got the phone call, hung up and started laughing. Just laughing her ass off in a way that makes you not sure if they're really just crying or if they've gone fully off the deep end. And she laughed, and then we all started giggling because, go figure. Life is messed up sometimes, you know? There's no moral, no point to that story, I guess. I just remember that story and wanted to tell you. Because we work with death all the time, and I still sometimes get caught off guard by what that actually means. Before you get any ideas, that has nothing to do with why I became a funeral director. That decision came totally later and is nothing unremarkable. Nothing unremarkable.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody has to do it, and I have a strong stomach, so why not? I'll see you in a bit, Charlie.
What to wear when you're attending a funeral from a different culture. Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all know everyone wants to be respectful at funerals. Don't talk too loudly, be kind, smile, and refrain from making inappropriate jokes, at least around the grieving family. Hey, sometimes some people do need a little bit of pick-me-up during such hard times. Who are we to judge? A big part of that is knowing what to wear. Roman Catholic funerals tend to lean more to the formal black attire rule, and it works for us. Did you know that this goes back to the days of the Roman Empire, where people would wear black as a symbol for mourning? Black isn't universally the symbol for mourning, though, and if you're attending a funeral that is from a culture that is not your own, it's important to understand this. Some colors have different meanings, and despite your best intentions, the wrong choice could be an accidental offense. For example, in Hinduism and in Chinese cultures, white is a typical color for funerals. For Islam, though, it is less about the color you are wearing and more about how modestly you are dressed. Refrain from wearing any elaborate jewelry and be respectful of your behavior. For Sikh funerals, color of the clothing isn't as important as is dressing modestly and being able to appropriately sit cross-legged. Actually, being respectful is just the number one rule for any funeral, no matter what, really. Remember that, and please don't hesitate to ask what is and isn't appropriate to wear. If you're attending to support a friend, family member, or partner, this day is not about you, so be sure to do whatever you can to be as respectful and supportive as possible, even if that means not wearing what you used to wear at a funeral. Or if it just means asking how you can appropriately show your respect.
Oh, okay. Sometimes it's a bit hard to write a sentence. Now we get to clean this guy up.
Traditional burials typically require embalming, which preserves the body and prevents it from decomposing as quickly. Unless the family requests otherwise, all traditional burials will use embalming. Especially since, in my family, the funerals are usually a week to 2 after the death.
Yeah.
Let's start by cleaning the body. Sponge the man. I'm assuming the lines are hair.
Yeah. Or maggots. Now we have a razor. Yeah.
Drag. Swish. Swish. Swish, 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 swish. That's fun.
Just like that. In order to break rigor mortis, you have to massage the body. Click and drag over the body to massage it.
Wait, click and drag. Neat, 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 neat. 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 I always thought they just broke the bones. The eyeballs deflate once the body starts decomposing. Click and drag an eye cap into each eye socket to give it shape. These are eye caps?
I believe so, yeah.
Boop. Boop. Keep the eyes shut, you'll need to glue them. Click and drag the glue.
One thing I heard about from that YouTube page.
Yeah.
Notice on the third thing we did there, the caps for the eyes, there's spikes on them.
Yeah.
That's to keep the eyelids from, during an open casket, coming back open.
Yeah.
You actually stick spikes into the skin because
I can't get mad. The eyeball deflating on its own is really creepy.
No.
So sticking your hand in there and getting the eyelid and sticking a spiky. That's gonna be an awkward procedure.
You need a strong stomach for this job.
Cotton ball into the mouth.
Yeah.
Keep the mouth from opening. You'll need to suture it shut. Click and drag the needle.
Mm-hmm.
Click and drag the lotion over the body to moisturize it. Prevent skin from drying out. Oop. Whoops. This game is very forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Embalming involves removing the blood and replacing it with preserving chemicals. Click and drag the scalpel over the neck for the incision. Swing. Tube. Click on the cannula and drag it into the carotid artery. This is how you'll get the preserving chemicals into this thing.
Cannula. Good thing they tell you what it is.
Yeah, good thing they... I don't actually know what a cannula is.
It's pointy.
Into the carotid... Yep, certainly pointy.
Yeah. Now you need
I think a cannula is just a big needle, isn't it?
Looks like it.
Additional tubing on the cannula.
I think you have to attach it to the machine. What?
I did it! Boop. In order to evenly distribute the chemicals, you have to massage through the body. Did not know this.
Well, there's no circulation, right?
Yeah. But like, I assume you just equip a pump to the body and it all just pumpity pumps.
I think the body might be too fragile just to put all the pressure in one location and just let it do its thing.
One more? No, okay. Incision.
You need to drain the organs of any remaining fluids.
Is this a draw car?
That is.
Hold until liquid.
Okay.
So I guess you have to puncture the organs.
Basically, yeah. When you're done, Mike will take care of Mr. Duval's makeup as well as dressing and putting him in the casket. Make sure to clean up before you attend the funeral.
Alright, open casket.
Mm-hmm. Came out of nowhere. I mean, it always sort of does, doesn't it?
Yeah, one minute you're laughing, having fun, and then the next, poof, that person's just gone. Just like, gone.
Yeah, it's weird to think about for too long. Like staring at the sun. I start to feel all fuzzy when I think about it.
Mm-hmm. So weird. How our bodies just stop working like that.
Yeah,
So strange not seeing most people wearing white.
White? Yeah, I think it's different for different family members. I can't remember. I haven't gone to many traditional funerals. So mostly white, but like definitely not red, no matter what.
He always wanted to take his grandkids to the park, play catch. He loved playing catch.
He threw a mean curveball, that's for sure. And the kid on their 3DS.
Yeah. Hey, kid.
Humming to himself.
Can I casket? Yes.
Are you not going to sign
I
anything?
can't.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't touch it.
Well, it's December now.
Oh, guess I'm gonna have to use the cremator.
Possibly, yeah.
We got some cool tattoos.
Okay, from Amy Rose.
Today's funeral is for a woman who has died from breast cancer. Nothing fancy, just a standard cremation. Please don't hesitate. For blah. Oop.
That was the one we...
Yeah, cremation. Passing on this note from... Oh, this is the Duval, from Mr. Duval. Thank you for the wonderful evening you and your staff put together for my father's funeral. He wasn't always an easy man to get along with, but I'm glad to have seen him off in such a kind way.
Meet cutes for death positive
Cuties.
What? Okay. From Jen Love. Charlie, I was doing some reading. I know you hate when I try to give you dating advice, but hear me out. Where is this gonna go? There's this dating site that's specifically for people working in the death industry. Okay, so maybe I'm a little worried for you. You haven't mentioned anybody new since the breakup of 2014 that we will never speak of again after this moment. But you're always saying how tired you get of people being scared to talk about your day. So maybe meeting somebody in the industry isn't the worst idea. Just promise me you'll consider it, okay? It's harder for me to make sure you're seeing sunlight when I'm all the way across the ocean. You're not going to see much sunlight in England. I know you look like a babe with pale skin and witchy gothy aesthetics are super hot right now, but vitamin D is still a good thing. Mom ran over. I'm gonna try it out because turns out people get super scared off when you tell them you work in a museum filled with dead bodies. Do you know how not interesting other people find teratomas? Charlie, I didn't know we were this weird to outside people. I've been spoiled by having a best friend who is as much of a weirdo as I am. Miss you. Let's grab a bottle of wine for our next Skype date. P.S. If you sign up for Dead Meat, isn't that the best name for a death industry dating website? Tinder rules apply. You have to like me for you to come across my profile or whatever. I'm not sure how it works just yet, though. Dead
Alright,
meat.
what's a teratoma?
Do you want to know?
Chat. Look up teratoma. Tumor? Teratoma's a tumor? Teeth teratomas. Let's not talk about teeth teratomas. I'm moving on.
Is that one of your things? Teeth?
Yeah.
That's fair.
That's like, especially like looking at like kid skulls, they still have like the teeth descending, or tumors and stuff that have teeth in them.
Yeah. Teratoma is a tumor made up of several different types of tissues, such as hair, muscle, or bone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So something that Corey would not like.
Pretty much, yeah.
Forward, paycheck coming late. Sorry. From Matthew Jeffrey to Charlie. I don't like the look of this, not one bit. I know you've only been with us for a few months, but maybe you're aware of the trouble Amy has been having. A small mom and pop shop like Rose and Daughters can't compete with the bigger guys. Anyway, don't tell Amy I sent this to you. Also, I'm starving, so I'm gonna grab some fast food before taking the hearse through the car wash. 2 birds, 1 stone. And swinging back to the home. Do you want anything? Beef and cheddar? I'm gonna take the hearse through the drive-through, of course. It freaks people out. I love it. They get so awkward. Let me know.
Hey Matthew, this is embarrassing, but it seems I miscalculated some of our income and I don't have enough to pay you this week. Would it be terribly inconvenient if I cut you a check for next week instead? If you need the money urgently, please let me know. I feel terrible about this whole thing, and I can cut you a check from my personal account if need be. So sorry about this. Sure you won't happen again. Like, oh, can you imagine?
That feels bad.
Oh, man. Whew. LGBTQ funerals respect.
Oh.
Yeah. If you've been a long-time subscriber to our emails or follow us on social media, you've no doubt heard about the misgendering that transgender people are at times subjected to during their funerals. There have been notable situations where trans women who have had their wishes overruled by their families and had their hair cut are buried under the wrong names and subjected to the wrong pronouns in their obituary announcements. We care a lot about this because we believe in treating every person with the same level of compassion, respect, and care. This absolutely extends to pronouns and respecting the deceased's wishes as per their lived experiences. The CDC's Funeral Director's Handbook on Death Registration and Fetal Death Reporting offers the fraught directive: enter male or female based on observation. Do not abbreviate or use other symbols. If sex cannot be determined after verification with medical records, inspection of the body, or other sources, enter unknown. Do not leave this item blank. Leaving it up to observation, obviously, enters into a world of issues since bodies can be so different, and because of ingrained bias, people can draw incorrect assumptions based on their own inaccurate observations. California has passed what is known as the Respect After Death Act, which states that the death certificate must reflect the deceased's gender identity as they lived it. So, a step in the right direction. People who are trans deserve the same respect in death that people who are cisgender receive. Misgendering in death takes away this respect. It can also inflict hurt and trauma on spouses and friends that survive the deceased. So what can we do as funeral directors? Listen to the people who come into your office. In America especially, some marriages may not be recognized as legal depending on the laws around same-sex marriage. But this doesn't mean you're not dealing with two people who have loved each other in the same way as another couple. Listen, learn, always be respectful. While you have to work with the next of kin, your duty is also to ensure the deceased receives the utmost respect in their burial. If a funeral is to honor the deceased, then do that. Honor them. Yeah, I hadn't actually considered that. Like, I can imagine, like, if you're telling anecdotes or something about a deceased person, like, misgendering them would be super easy if you've known them for a long time.
Super easy to do, and it can be incredibly awkward for people who know them as they identified before they died. It is something a lot of people don't know much about. Yeah. But people are learning.
Okay. Before we cremate Mrs. Hall, we'll need to prepare her body. Mrs. Hall's family brought clothing and jewelry for her to wear. It's important to remove these before the cremation process as to not damage them. Let's start. Click on the necklace and place it on the tray. Doop. We need to be able to identify Mrs. Hall's remains after she's been cremated. Click on the round identification tag to put it in her coffin.
That is smart.
Oh. It's a metal tag. Alright.
So that it won't burn up.
Yeah.
One thing I learned from that YouTube channel was that people can rent coffins for open casket funerals.
Because then you just get the cardboard one for the cremation.
Yeah, and it can have a hole on the end that you slide the cardboard one in, and they rent it, take it out, and the cardboard goes in with the body and cremation.
Yeah.
And I did not know they did that.
A lot of caskets are just for show. For the ceremony itself. So
you don't need to buy an entire fancy casket. If you're doing a cremation, you can rent it. Just so everyone knows that, because I didn't know before. Efficient. I didn't know they put the jewelry back in. I know pacemakers are a thing they find frequently.
Oh right, because you can't unless you
they don't burn up.
Unless the autopsy or whatever.
Yeah.
Or prep. She would have hated this music. She never wanted her funeral to be sad. She would have wanted us smiling. She said so.
No kid this time. She fought really hard. She was proud of herself. She never gave up, not once.
Right, breast cancer.
Yeah. Glad she was cremated and not in an open casket or something. Seeing her like that, I don't know if I could have.
At least we all got to say goodbye. She would have liked that. So here, I'll do this and then catch them on the way out. I like the game actually forces you to take time.
Yeah. This is nice in a weird way. She liked that we're all here talking. She always tried to keep the family together.
Food is delicious. I know that's weird, but these crab cakes are perfect. Oh yeah, Uncanny Jim Jams. There's no problem in skipping if the stuff is too recent for you.
Yeah. We have VODs. Approach it when you feel in the right headspace. That's a bad title for an email to get.
And the first line, "Hi all, is with a very heavy heart that I write to let you know that Rose and Daughters will no longer be in business. I had no idea how to start this email, and resources like Google told me that would be the best and easiest way to break the ice. Be direct but remorseful," Google said. Truth is, I don't know don't really know what to say. Since my father passed away, I've done my best to make Rose and Daughters warm and friendly to anyone who chose to use their services. It was my memorial to him, the original Rose, in a lot of ways. Oh!
Yeah, last name
She's
Rose.
not the Rose from Daughters. She's the daughter.
Yeah.
You've all been my family, including you, Charlie, our most recent addition. But it's been getting harder to make ends meet. Rent is going up in the neighborhood, and I'm finding less and less like I have the energy for this business. There's a lot of competition from other funeral homes, larger corporations than we are that can take on more business and offer more impressive services. You know the way it goes. So we've been bought, or I sold, either way. Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc., a company that owns many funeral homes in the city and across the country, will replace Rose and Daughters starting from the beginning of next month. Same building, same name, but keeping the name Rose and Daughters Funeral Home for tax purposes. Though honestly, I'm trying hard not to just see it as a move on their part to keep up the image that it's a family-run business. I don't know how I feel about that, but I also don't know if there's anything I can do at this point either. I've signed the papers. At least my father's legacy is still intact, somewhat. They have a good reputation and have agreed to keep you all on. That was one of my stipulations. I would sell as long as you all weren't without a job. Sorry I didn't tell you in a more personal way. I would have loved to have a company lunch, but I didn't have the heart to tell you in person. This is easier for me. Please understand.
I'm so eternally grateful that you were able to accommodate our requests for my sister's funeral. It was a beautiful service, and she would have been happy with it. It's such a weird thing to say, isn't it? Thank you again from the bottom of my heart. From Margarita Hull. Pacemaker.
Please see the note below about Pacemaker. They can be tricky. Hi, Amy. You asked if there were any special instructions you wanted me to pass along. Just please cremate my father. He has a pacemaker, too. The doctor told me that would need to be removed. I'll go through the other ones and then come back.
Yeah.
Thought I would forward this to you. In situations like this, we typically connect people like Ryan with a grief counselor or other professionals who can really help him. Sometimes we get emails like this when people don't know where else to turn. It's difficult and family isn't always the most reliable for some people. Usually I would be happy to connect him, but I'm feeling a little tired today, not my usual self. And it would be good for you to start building these kinds of relationships on your own. You're a treasure, Charlie.
Hi, Amy. I know this email might be a bit odd, but you said if I was ever having troubles, I should reach out. And you would know somebody I could talk to about all of this. I don't know what to do now. I know my grandmother had lived a good full life and was very happy and that she's not in any pain now. But I feel empty. Amy, I've never felt this empty before. What am I supposed to do now? I thought I was stronger than this. Can you refer me to someone to talk to? I don't want to freak out my mom right now. She's dealing with enough with work and the will and trying to just be the best mom she can. I just need somebody to tell me that it'll be okay. Thank you, and sorry for being an inconvenience.
Yeah, I guess that is something that people in the death industry would have to deal with.
Yep.
Being like the contact point.
From Jen Love, a challenger approaches. Charlie, I've been playing a new game when things are slow at work. It's called Tales from the Crypt Sweeper. Get it? Get it? It's like Minesweeper, but way harder. Like, seriously, it's really, really difficult. And I thought my Minesweeper game was on point after working that overnight front desk job at the hotel for 3 years, but I must have gotten rusty. Anyways, instead of mines, you want to avoid graves so you don't disturb the adorable ghosts. The main character also kind of looks like you. Want to start a healthy competition? High score gets to pick the next restaurant we go to when one of us is in town next.
It's whiplash in
Yeah.
my inbox.
Kind of.
Oh.
Corey,
Hi.
why did you step on an adorable ghost?
What does that mean? What does that mean?
That's a moon.
3, 2. Nothing.
Venus,
Nothing.
Moon.
Nothing. 4? Ah! Oh, thank goodness. Okay, so the moon's 1.
Moon means 1.
Those mean 2.
I guess.
Uh,
I think Venus means 3.
Oh, that looks correct.
Yeah. I think Mercury. I think that's Mercury. Maybe.
This one? Or this one?
The fork.
The fork.
Yeah, I think that one means
I
2.
don't remember my Sailor Scouts.
That one might be Neptune, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, why don't you have these memorized? I thought you were a fan of Sailor Moon.
Am I?
I guess that's more of a Heather thing.
Yes.
I kind of assume the Saturn one, or no, the Jupiter one means 4. Personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
In universe, we're playing this at work.
Yeah. Before dealing with stuff.
Yeah. God, this is just mood whiplash.
Oh yeah. Very close to finishing.
You say that, but it's right at the end when they get you.
No! Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Funerals Monthly. Keep on protecting Earth with green burials.
You've lived your life mindful of the environment, doing your part to reduce pollution and generally help out where you can, so why not continue doing that even in death? At least that's the thinking for a lot of people who are turning to green or natural burials. Natural cemeteries are becoming more popular and are focused on a few rules. Mainly it's that bodies aren't allowed to be embalmed with chemicals that can damage the environment, and bodies must be buried in a biodegradable shroud or casket. Not only is this better for the environment, it's also cheaper. At Union Cemetery in Ontario, Canada, a natural burial is just over $1,000. So better for the people, the environment, just maybe not so good for big business. Let's not forget, people, this is still a business after all. But really, why go green? Green burials help preserve natural resources, work to reduce carbon emissions, protect the health of those preparing the bodies, and restore preserve natural habitats. Embalming fluids tend to contain formaldehyde, and funeral directors report a higher incidence of leukemia. Going green and not using toxic chemicals for embalming helps protect funeral directors while at the same time lessening the impact we have on the environment after we're gone. We here at Funeral Monthly think green burials are pretty cool. What do you think? Reply to let us know.
In chat. You're here, you're in chat, you can reply.
Okay, gotta remove the pacemaker.
They don't have any pace after all. Not anymore.
It's probably just sitting in there going off. Zzz, 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 zzz. Mr. Reyes came directly from the hospital, so we don't have to worry about including any valuables from him, as the family did not provide any for us to include. However, he has a pacemaker and will need to remove before cremation. Because pacemakers are batteries, they will explode inside the hot heat of the cremation machine. We definitely don't want that.
Yeah.
Ow. Scalpel. Over the heart. Right in the collarbone. You can just see it right there. Just yank it out.
Are you sure that's not the collarbone?
Pretty sure that's his collarbone. Click the tag. Doop. Don't have to sew anything up because no one has to see this.
Yeah. No one can see it.
Turn.
Yeah, we have to cremulate it.
Cremulate all people.
There's probably so many fake knees and hips that they
Yeah.
have to sift out
Like little titanium rods and stuff.
Yeah, pins in people's feet from when they broke them earlier in life.
Johnny Glitch, good guess. This is Matt.
Mm-hmm. Andrew. Who?
I know.
Like, no, not Andy. I know we're both redheads, but come on.
Wonder if he ever liked me. He was nice to me, but I don't know. He never seemed like he really cared if I was there or not. Yeah, that is something you can think about the dead.
Yeah. Unanswered questions.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever end up clearing the air with your father?
No, we talked a few times, but no, not really.
He sounded like a difficult man.
He was stubborn. That's just it. Stubborn. What do you want to do after this?
It's pretty nice out. Let's change and go find a patio somewhere.
Sounds good. I could really use a beer right now.
Hey, did I ever tell you that time we tailgated?
I always told him to quit smoking, but of course he never listened to me, so that figures.
Oh.
I'm seeing a lot of different options for what people want for their burial.
In chat?
Yeah. A lot of it is like being quartered and spread around, pretty much. Oh, I gotta thank you.
Yay.
I just wanted to thank you for the services the other month, and I apologize if I was abrupt. It was kind of a shock for me, and I didn't feel comfortable with the whole process. He wasn't supposed to die yet. It hasn't been easy.
Mushrooms!
Oh my god. You hate mushrooms so much I found the perfect thing for you. I've been thinking about death. I know, shocker. Look what you've done to me. I think I want this mushroom suit. No, it's not called that, but I can't remember the name of it, and
I know the mushroom suit.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh.
And I'm writing you on my phone, so I don't feel like Googling it right now. Anyway, the idea is that it's a biodegradable suit that the deceased wears. It's made with what people call a biomix, i.e. mushrooms and other microorganisms that help to decompose bodies, neutralize toxins in the body, and provide nutrients to the soil for plants. I think this one company even offers casket liners for use in green caskets. I think this is what I want. It'll be just like Hannibal. Wait, don't tell people I said that, okay? But seriously, it's pretty cool. I love all the death innovation happening. We might as well do something when we're in the ground, you know? Love you. Think about it when you... think about it and let me know your thoughts. I want all of your thoughts. If it's not this, then maybe I'll have my ashes made into jewelry, but seriously, I'm probably gonna go with this. There's no harm in planning ahead, am I right? So now I know what a mushroom bag is, or suit.
Yeah.
I immediately went to Mario, like...
Oh. Like it would make you grow big or something? Like, just, like... It's got mushroom prints on it, and you're like...
The really dumb thing is I went to Mario and went, no, that's wrong, and then went to Mario wearing a Goomba costume. So... But hey, now we know you can decompose with mushrooms in a bag. That's an innovation.
Like, personally, I often kind of debate, like, donating my body to, like, a corpse field or something for forensics.
Yeah. Well, one big divide in this is people of the Jewish faith.
Oh.
Because their bodies have to be intact.
Yes.
So no embalming, no organ donation.
Yeah, no organ removal.
No organ removal. As intact as possible. So I think they usually go with caskets.
Yeah.
But I'm not Jewish.
I'm not Jewish.
You're not Jewish. So we have options, I guess.
Like, my default is cremation,
Yeah,
because I
same
just
here.
don't want to take up a lot of space.
That's the funny thing. We just don't want to take up a lot
I
of
just
space.
don't want to take a lot of space. Like, dump me in a river. Like,
Sprinkle me over a field so that I can fertilize the crops. I don't know.
Original Garwolf confirms what we think about Jewish people and their traditions.
That sounds ominous.
It does sound ominous, and we're specifically talking about death traditions.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I never really thought about it after my initial thoughts on it, like, years ago now. But yeah, I just kind of immediately went to cremation. And I guess it's something you kind of have to revisit and rethink about, like, what do you actually want? And it is useful to talk about it with the people who would be dealing with it in your life. Could be your family, could be your friends. And also, this is the use of a will, so that people know what you want.
Original Garwolf says that the way it was explained to me was that we get our bodies from God on loan to a degree, and they must be returned intact. I've heard some Christian traditions that, like,
The dead will rise.
the dead will rise, so,
Yeah.
like, whether or not you think you'll get a new body, or whether or not you think you kind of get stuck with the body you're buried with, is a divide, but
Yeah.
there's definitely stuff other in, like, Judeo-Christian traditions that carries over.
Yeah. Like, there's such a focus on the sanctity of saints' bodies, for example, and if they're intact and whatnot.
But then you've also got, like, relics from saints. Like, people like to take little bits of saint bodies and carry them somewhere else to,
Because they're holy,
it's like,
and it's
get
important.
those holy fingernail clippings.
Yeah.
I was hoping you wouldn't have to confront this situation, yet anyways, they're never easy. Rose and Daughters has been asked to prepare the body of a young man who took his own life. He had a will prepared and asked for cremation, but the family has demanded a traditional burial instead. Unfortunately, he didn't make anyone his power of attorney and didn't have any witnesses sign his living will or his advance directive regarding these wishes, so his family is legally in the right to do whatever they want with his body. It's unfortunate, but we have to do as his family wishes. Matthew has graciously offered to take this one on if you're uncomfortable with the subject. Instead, we have a second body you can prepare for a funeral we're hosting later in the afternoon. Is suicide something you're comfortable dealing with?
From Manuel Scott. Good day, Mrs. Rose, or Miss Rose. Disregard our son's will as it concerns matters of his burial. He was, clearly, not thinking right and didn't know what he really wanted. Proceed with an open casket funeral. As for payment, we'll bring a check.
I'm really not sure how I feel about this.
It's a sticky situation that as a dead body, whoever it is, you or I, anyone in chat, we don't have a say afterwards, after we die, except in a will, because it's a legally binding
there's like
thing.
legal steps you could take to make your desire known that people can't just like override.
Yeah. This is actually, that kind of thing is a lot of the push for queer rights in just the medical field in general.
Really?
At hospitals, at funerals, it's just the rights of the spouse to enact the wishes of whoever is ill or dead. And if the spouse is not seen as legitimate by law or by the culture, they don't really have power there. And that was kind of a big push in a lot of things.
That makes sense.
Marriage, for example. If you're married to the person, you're kind of the one the law goes to for those decisions. Kind of falls back on it.
I'll check this first and then figure out what to do.
Things to avoid saying at a funeral. I'm sure there's a lot.
Welcome back. Now, we rarely do listicles here, but for this month's newsletter, we thought a listicle would be the best way to deliver this month's advice, what not to say at a funeral. We know figuring out the right thing to say to a grieving friend can be extremely difficult, and since that's such a personal issue, it's hard to give specific advice. Some things will be more comforting to other people. Fortunately, we can deliver a little more solid advice about what not to say to someone who is grieving. So here it is, Funeral Monthly's top 5 things to not say at a funeral.
At least they're no longer suffering.
Even if this is true, nobody wants to hear this. It's probably not your place to dictate. Who wants to be told that the death of somebody they love is for the best? Like I said, even if it's true, don't be a jerk and just don't say it.
Were they saved?
No religious statements. Just don't. Why? Because not everyone agrees with your religious views, and not only is it not always comforting, it can also be insulting.
They're with the angels now.
See above, rinse, repeat.
Let me know how I can help.
This one is tricky. You want to help, but those in mourning won't always ask for help. If you want to help, suggest a specific thing. For example, I'm free if you need someone to babysit the kids. Actions are better than passive statements. Cook something for them, take them to their favorite restaurant, or buy tickets to see a movie together. Very true.
Yeah.
Like,
I know how you feel.
even if you think you do, everyone grieves differently. Don't focus this on yourself. Empathy does not involve having to commiserate. Sometimes people will want to hear your experiences, but don't assume they will. Ask first. For a quicker version of this list that can be applied to any situation, don't say stuff just for the sake of saying stuff. Just say, I'm sorry, if you don't know what else to say.
Yeah. A lot of the time, people just kind of want space to kind of arrange their thoughts.
Yeah.
And getting in their space while they're trying to do that is probably where most emotional blow-ups at funerals come from.
I don't think I've ever had, like...
Or after a funeral or something.
Some of my family's funerals have had to have, like, second viewings because certain people can't interact with each other. But I haven't had a funeral that had, like, a big explosive blow-up at it.
Yeah. I mean, it probably doesn't happen at the funeral.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people subdue themselves for that kind of thing. It's a mourning period. It's made to be that. But afterwards, in a different setting, they probably don't have that restraint necessarily, depending on who it is.
Yeah.
Don't try to solve their grief. It's not really a solvable thing. Yeah.
True. Yeah. It's like it's just time and themselves processing stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Mainly time, really.
alright. I'm gonna do it. Might as well. Okay, don't have to see anything related to the suicide. Open casket funeral, body prepared. Boop, 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 boop.
I'm not entirely sure why they do the shaving, honestly.
Probably just to clean everything up, you know?
Yeah. This is like the third one we've done, and it's become a mundane task. Kind of, right?
They're very orderly steps.
Yeah.
It's like if there's no exceptions,
Yeah, that one down there.
Wait until the X goes away. Man, looking at like the screenshots of this game, I was expecting more of like a trauma center feel. But everything is so laid back. There's no time pressure whatsoever.
Yeah, the time pressures of a dead body are like... I mean, what will happen if you're a bit too slow? They'll go a bit softer.
I don't know.
Quiet sobs. Yeah.
Oh.
I wish we were closer. Wow, holy shit, I still can't believe this is real. My baby brother. I should have played more games with him when he asked. Shit, I heard it wasn't going to be open casket.
I'm surprised it's public. Usually funerals for these circumstances are more private.
I still can't believe he did it. I feel like I should have known. You know, being able to do something to stop it.
There's no way to know. You can't blame yourself. He wouldn't have wanted that.
I know, it's just... it hurts.
Yeah, I know. So we've got a note from Parliament 27 about Jewish burial practices. While there is no embalming or viewing of the body, is never supposed to be alone from death until burial, so the family and community do what's called shmira to take shifts. It also becomes an important part of the mourning process. So you kind of guard the body.
Yeah. Well, that's something, too, that a lot of people don't know. You can keep the body at home before burial. It doesn't just have to go straight to the funeral home or the morgue or whatever. You can have it kept. You can request to keep it at home. And the main thing you need is refrigeration. And really, that just kind of depends on the wishes of the family and the person who died.
Yeah. Alright, let's take a break. Here.
Oh, yeah, we should probably do that.
Yeah.
There we go.
I've just been getting more and more emails this whole time.
Yeah, it's
What
all
is it?
spam. Chad Grant? Sounds like a great guy. We are pleased to bring on Rose and Daughters as part of Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated. They will be another institution amongst hundreds of other properties owned across the country. But of course, as part of the adjustment process to the Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated culture, there will be a number of changes that will come to Rose and Daughters. We will send out the memo regarding the specifics and details of these changes, and we expect them to be followed impeccably. Glad to be leading the way for Rose and Daughters from now on. What the hell? Can I just say first off that this is bullshit? Knowing how these corporations run, I wouldn't be surprised if they're monitoring our emails now. No, okay, I don't really believe that. I'm just upset. I get that Amy didn't have much of a choice. You can only fight a huge corporation taking all of your business for so long. This isn't 6 feet under.
I didn't watch 6 Feet Under, did you?
No. And they just swooped in, and now we have to deal with their BS practices. They're colder than the corpse I picked up from the morgue this morning. Who charges this much for funerals? It feels dirty and exploitative. Let's grab a drink after work. I need to blow off some steam, and emails aren't really the most appropriate place to do this. Too late for me, I guess. P.S. If you are reading this, Hillside Overlord, good.
What are they charging?
Doesn't say.
It's just very much... Whew.
From Jen Love, you're invited to attend a death cafe. Can't really write much right now. I have a lot of work I have to do with an inguinal hernia from 1750. It's the oldest in our collection, and you can even see this bit of paper the surgeon put in after removing the hernia. Super cool. I'll send you the link when we have it cataloged. What is my life? What is the sentence I just typed? But anyway, this event that I'm forwarding you is taking place near you. Figured you'd be into it. Might help with that feeling of restlessness you were talking about before. Could be good to talk about some of the things you're feeling. Lots of death positive people there. Sounds like it'll be a safe space.
What's an inguinal hernia?
Some sort of hernia. Probably doesn't look nice if you look a photo of it up.
They had, I remember one hernia at the Mutter Museum, and it was not cool.
No, they usually aren't.
Groin? It is groin. Okay, so they had a hernia in the museum that was like part of someone's large intestine had entered their scrotum. They have a cast of that.
Sounds shitty.
Yeah.
Those are not fun to
Increase
have.
awareness of death with the view to helping people make the most of their finite lives.
Oh,
Join us,
God.
have a tea and cake, and talk to others about our thoughts, fears, and eliminations on death. The founder of the Death Cafe movement, John Underwood, once said, "When people talk about death and dying, it tends to illustrate their humanity."
Are there going to be cats there? Will it be a death cat cafe? Can it be both? I think that'd be best.
A piece of mesh, punk rock zoologist?
Hmm?
Like, just holding... What? I don't know. I have questions, but I don't want answers.
Yeah, I think they just kind of patch up the hole,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Different funeral traditions.
Funeral rites, even in our own culture, maybe be something many of us may be unfamiliar with. But for many people, all they know of funeral traditions are what they've seen in media. But I think this goes without saying, funeral rites and traditions aren't the same across the board. Different cultures have different protocols for cleaning the body to different aspects of the service itself. Religion provides differing paths for dealing with a death, but the goal is always the same: offering support, guidance, and ease to the people who are grieving. In Judaism, interment,
Internment, yeah.
interment.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
it's
missed
like-
an N.
Yeah, usually begins immediately after somebody has passed. Up until burial, the body is never supposed to be alone, so often families will appoint a shomer, a guardian, to remain with the body. Preparations for burial begin as soon as possible in Muslim traditions as well. Local Islamic community organizations are often involved and help the family make arrangements for funeral service and burial. Not all practices are strictly religiously focused. In the aughts in South Korea, the amount of graveyard space began to shrink drastically, causing a law to be passed that required families to remove a loved one's body from its burial place after 60 years.
Yep, many places you rent plots, you do not buy them.
Many families began to cremate more often. There are also companies that compress the remains into beads in turquoise, pink, or black called death beads. You can get like a diamond made
From
of
all
someone.
the carbon.
Yeah. This also occurs in North America, Europe, and Japan, but remains much more common in South Korea because of the space issue in graveyards and the expenses of cremation. Not all practices are somber either. Ever heard of turning the bones, or famadina, a ritual from the Malagasy people of Madagascar? Famadihana
Hamadahana?
has families return to the ancestral crypt, exhumed the bodies wrapped in cloth before dancing with the bodies to lively music. This practice is a celebration, remembrance, and a way to keep the deceased involved in family news. That sounds amazing.
That would be a lot. That would be a lot.
It's like a wake, but way in the future. It's like every year it's gonna get grandparents up.
You're waking Granny up
It's not like
to
a
get down.
Japanese oban where they have to make little vegetable animals for the spirits to ride.
That would be preferable from my experience. I'd rather not dance with a corpse. Or skeleton at that point.
Depends.
Yeah.
Death can be a difficult time for many people. That doesn't mean there isn't a beauty in the way we choose to honor and celebrate our deceased. Yeah,
Do you want to be danced with when you're long dead?
Maybe. Like, I can imagine, like, like having like a plinth or something get carried around in a parade, like a little death march.
God, that'd be a lot, though. Really. Like, at most, show off my skull. I could deal with that, but my entire body being danced around with, not for me.
So just your head. Just clean up your skull. Just boil it. Get everything off.
The thing, you take the skull out, and then you cremate the rest, and the skull is the urn.
I mean, you could probably put an urn in a skull, but I think the mass of the body ashes is bigger than your skull could hold.
It's not that much. Not really that much, I don't think. Like, it's maybe a couple pounds or something, but like,
yeah,
I don't think it's bigger than
head?
the skull. Or yeah, I don't think it's bigger.
Anyways, that's stuff from Chad. Below are the details for our next client. Ensure you follow the requested specifications exactly. After you're done, I will review your work in order to properly evaluate you at the end of the month.
Thank you, Mr. Grant, for agreeing to take care of Jocelyn's cremation. The bike accident was, well, it was more than I was expecting. I know she wanted to be cremated, and to be honest, I don't think I could bear seeing her like that after what happened.
Ooh. Alright, let's do it. I don't think there was anything else to look at.
I don't think so.
Yes, I'm waiting to remove the watch. Boop. 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 Sweet.
That was simple.
Don't have to remove her collarbone at all.
Oh, we forgot to take out her skull so that we could use it.
It's right here. Probably wouldn't let me put the skull there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get a game over if you, like, fling the bone off screen?
I can try it next time.
Let's not. Let's be a bit respectful.
These are made of people, Matt.
But they're still people.
You're supposed to be able to experience things you couldn't in real life.
Yeah.
Like flinging bones.
Or death.
Should we do a vigil at the spot? Oh, there was a bike accident, right?
Oh, yeah. Careless drivers, I swear to God. I'm glad I'm here, but wow, I need a glass of wine and to binge watch something right now.
What if I have to talk to them again? No, okay. I have to go through all her things. How am I supposed to decide what to keep?
If you need help, I can help.
No, thanks. I mean, but no, I don't know. It's so intimate. Feels like I should do it myself. She would kill me if others saw things we have. Yeah, she was kind of a closed book, except to you. Yeah. Yeah, she was special.
So glad it was a cremation. I would have lost it seeing her body.
She was always so careful. Wore her helmet, signaled, used the bike lanes. Asshole drivers, they need to pay attention.
Have you heard what's happening to the driver?
No, I haven't wanted to ask Leah. This has been hard enough on them without asking about the legal ramifications of all this.
Yeah, after all this, let's see what we can do to help them. Shouldn't deal with the death of their partner all by themselves.
You have mail. Poor plant. Windowless office.
Well, we don't see that wall.
You're right.
Rules and code of conduct. Sounds fun. Charlie, I need a drink. Beer after work. P.S. Also, I really want mozzarella sticks. I can be both hungry and angry, and no, I will not say hangry ever.
Rules of conduct.
Hello. As stated in a previous email, here are the new rules and code of conduct I expect you to follow from now on while on any premises belonging to Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc. First and foremost, there is a required uniform and strict dress code from now on. Second, most importantly to this, is that no tattoos are to be visible. I've worked in this kind of environment before.
And our person has tattoos.
Yep. If you have visible tattoos, ensure they are properly covered and hidden. When speaking with customers and clients, consider the opportunity to upsell, i.e., always encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase the higher quality package. We find that encouraging loved ones to think of the comfort and style of the deceased as an experience with no price limit on it. Additionally, food is no longer allowed to be brought in. Instead, encourage the deceased loved ones to purchase our premium, sandwich and appetizer food package. Our partner, Catering Concepts, provides high-quality food that will be delivered weekly from their factory and can easily be defrosted the morning of the funeral. That sounds great. I expect all of the above changes to be instituted effective immediately to ensure a smooth transition into the high-quality services Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated is known for.
Really worried about this one. This one's about green burial policy.
From Chad Grant. Hello, Charlotte. I have reviewed your...
Charlie!
Yeah. I have reviewed your request on behalf of a potential family inquiring if we at Hillside Heritage Enterprises, Inc. can and will perform green burials. I should have informed you of this in the beginning, but we do not perform green funerals as they are not cost effective. All employees and subsidiaries of Hillside Heritage Enterprises Incorporated, you have to say the full thing every time, must comply. We do not wish to lose potential customers, though, so do try your hardest to convince the families requesting green burials to instead choose a traditional burial package, complete with embalming, caskets, and vaults instead. I trust you will ensure we do not lose any customers, Charlotte.
I feel like that's directly going to be sort of contradicted by this newsletter.
Mm-hmm. Why do it?
The appeal of a funeral home, or a home funeral, is apparently for many, especially if the deceased was someone very close to you. The idea of keeping them at home until they are ready to be buried or cremated can be comforting.
I keep mentioning things that are in the next newsletter.
He did, while we were on break.
That was on break.
Yeah. It wasn't that long ago that we were taking care of our own deceased, but nowadays people are quick to pass off their loved ones to a funeral home. Most families aren't given the option and assume this is mandatory. Funeral homes will almost always prepare the deceased using embalming and other methods to make them appear more alive. Isn't this process counterintuitive to the grieving process? Being around the deceased allows the bereaved to spend a longer period of time with their loved one's body, which can help them mourn or give opportunities to family members or friends to see the deceased one last time before they're taken to be buried or cremated. The idea of keeping the deceased's body at home might sound gross, but it's important to understand that decomposition takes a long time, and you can further slow this process by keeping your home cool and dry. To be around your loved ones and to see them decay naturally is an important part of the grieving process. Home funerals aren't just more intimate, but they are also economical. A traditional funeral, complete with body preparation, service, flowers, cards, and many other hidden costs and fees, can be upwards of $7,000 to $10,000. When you're able to take care of your loved one yourself, to wash and dress them, and to organize their viewing from home, the only cost remaining is entirely in the cremation or burial itself. However, it's important to understand that different rules apply given what state you live in. In all states, it is legal to have your loved one's body at home after they die. States like Alabama, Connecticut, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, Nebraska, New Jersey, New York require a funeral director's involvement from signing the death certificate to overseeing burial or cremation. If this is a route you decide to go for yourself or your loved ones, make sure you follow everything by the book. But just know that this may be an option available to you and your loved ones if you so choose.
Not everyone can afford a traditional burial.
Yeah, they are honestly like 10 grand to have a funeral.
From Jen Love to Charlie. I just saw a video of a gorilla walking on its hind legs. Like a human being, Charlie. A human being. We as a species have seen the beginning of our end.
Charlotte, I'm proud to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. received a contract with the city to dispose of any unclaimed bodies. This is an important revenue stream for us, as I'm sure I don't need to explain to you, Charlotte. Although Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc. is being paid a decent wage from the city for these services, cremation is preferred here as it is the most cost-efficient of the two options. First unclaimed body we'll be handling belongs to a middle-aged man, possibly homeless, whose body is yet to be claimed. No special preparations are needed for this cadaver aside from cremation. F you.
Sounds so pleasant. Such a lovely man.
Gekyoryu, Jen and Charlie are friends, and Jen is in London working at a museum.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have any valuables on him that would damage during cremation, so let's just drop the tag. Boop. Bet he has a pacemaker. Bet it explodes.
Oh my god, imagine. This urn is plain with no flowers on it.
Whee! I can't throw it off the side.
But you're gonna try.
Take it to the funeral parlor. So we're actually having a funeral.
And I'm not sure how many people will be there.
It's just us.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually kind of interesting. You know, exposing us to this.
Yeah. Not all funerals have crowds.
But just being, like, the only person available to give respect to a dead person.
Still can't write in the registry.
Gotta wait till I'm done polishing the urns.
Latest contract acquisition, hospital. Sounds great. Hello all, we are thrilled to announce that Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc.'s subsidiary, Rose & Daughters, just signed a contract with Morning Valley Hospital, allowing us access to all of the cadavers that come through their pediatric and maternity wards. We're excited for the opportunity to work with Morning Valley Hospital, which intakes over 100,000 patients and receives over 15 million in funding and donations annually. This will no doubt be a boon for Hillside Heritage Enterprises Inc.'s bright and sustained future. Okay. Charlie, it's official. I've put in my 2 weeks notice. You know how unhappy I am working for Mega Corporation 101? My skills, especially my driving ones, are useful in other professions. I'm not worried about myself, but you I'm worried about. You're too good for this corporate scum. You actually care about the people you work with and for. Don't let them defeat you, okay? P.S. I'll bring beers over next week. We can talk a bit more freely. I liked Matthew as a character.
I was like Jen.
Yeah.
I kissed her.
Okay, from Jen Love to Charlie. Dating a special effects makeup artist, and she is like the coolest person I've ever met in my life. She totally loves Ava's possession and was equally freaked out by the possession scenes, but so utterly delighted at the idea of a support group for people who have been possessed. That was your best recommendation in a while, Charlie. You were slipping there, and I was getting worried you had lost your taste. But yeah, her name is Lily, and she's super death positive and isn't freaked out by my work and also isn't too into it like that last dude I saw, Jason Michael. I can't remember. I just really like spending time around here. I can talk about whatever I want, and it's never a conversation stopper. She also totally gets what I mean when I say that, like, working with death and spending so much time thinking about death actually makes me happier. It makes everything else feel so much more worth it, you know, memento mori or whatever they taught us in that one poetry class we took. We just clicked. Feels good. Fun and affirming, like dating should be. I'm thinking of taking her to Maple Meadows. She's super into roller coasters, and I think the idea of sharing cotton candy, or maybe not, I don't want to throw up on the rides, is sickeningly cute. Then maybe I'll kiss her on top of a Ferris wheel. Be super corny and cliche for once in my life. Anywho, enough about me for now. I'm still kind of in shock from your last email. Do you think you're going to do it? You know you have my support 100%, no matter what you decide.
The other tab is registering a business. Looks like Charlie wants to start her own funeral home.
Mm-hmm.
Water, water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. Water cremation.
I've heard about this.
I have not heard about this.
It's not legal in very many places.
We can call it a few different things, like flameless cremation, bit of an oxymoron, but we'll let it slide. Perhaps more commonly, resomation. It's a technical name, although it's actually alkaline hydrolysis.
Yep.
So, dissolve in acid?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Whatever we want to call it, here it's an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional cremation. But for the sake of this newsletter, let's call it water cremation. We all know that traditional cremation burials take a huge toll on the environment, high energy consumption that adds to the greenhouse gas effect being one of the chief amongst them. Water cremation is an alternative method available for the eco-conscious amongst. How does it work? It's basically a water-based chemical process that uses a really strong alkaline water and heat it up very high, about 350 Fahrenheit. So cooking temperature. Basically works like a sped up version of natural decomposition. The excess water gets put through the same water treatment process as any sewage water at a factory, and the alkaline hydrolysis uses significantly less energy than traditional cremation process. Neat, huh? It's been around for a while, and some places became legal around the end of the first decade of the aughts. Not a bad alternative for those who don't want their death to have any greater impact on the environment than necessary.
Chad Grant, home funeral for my wife. Charlotte, I see you were not able to convince the Dimka family to take a standard funeral. I had to contact them myself in order to not lose this sale. Please read the enclosed emails for a lesson on how to properly upsell potential customers. I don't want to see that we've lost any customers because of your refusal to upsell. This is part of your job. Dear Mr. Grant, okay, we'll take the traditional funeral package. Thank you for considering us in this hard time. I understand your desire to keep your wife at home, but I assure you the best way to honor your wife is through a traditional funeral package instead. I promise you your wife's funeral with us will be a beautiful, intimate gathering where all of her beloved friends and family can come together and say their goodbyes. A standard embalming will allow for everyone to view your wife, ensuring that everyone can see her one final time as she was, beautiful, peaceful, and courageous. Letting us take care of the food with our prepared food service will ensure you don't have a single thing to worry about on this day. You and your daughters are going through a hard time right now. Let us here at Rose and Daughters make this difficult time a little easier for you. Regarding the last time we spoke, my daughters and I would still prefer to host a home funeral ourselves and keep my wife here until she's ready to be buried. I just want to make sure she's taken care of. Her heart attack was so sudden, we don't know what to do. We just want to make sure she has a proper send-off.
I'll defrost the sandwiches.
God, defrosted sandwiches.
Squash.
You'll notice a lot of these are sudden heart attacks or accidents, but mainly sudden heart attacks. Heart attacks kill a lot of people very suddenly. It's kind of one of the leading causes of death. So keep that in mind.
Eye caps, glue the eyelids down, puffball the face, sew the mouth. tube. Haha! I found the right spot to click.
It's kind of a big area. It looks like a couple different areas.
Squish, squish, squish. I was wondering if for a female body, because like they put the sheet across here.
The modesty towel.
Yeah. I was wondering if they would have all of the same steps. Although it looks like we don't have to shave them.
Yeah.
Which is not true. It's not true that women's body and faces do not grow hair.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't do it long enough.
Yeah, notice how preparing the body has become routine. Like, already.
Yeah.
Turns out, being a mortician is a job like any other job. You're doing the same thing over and over again.
Feels so impersonal. She would have hated this.
Yeah, but I don't know. They must have had their reasons.
Oh, hey, what did you think of that trailer I sent you? Oh yeah, I've heard that show is so good. Saw that video of a kid actor doing karaoke.
I'm starving. Why do these things always make me so hungry?
You're always hungry.
Okay, wow. It's so cold in here. I think they have the air conditioning on too high.
Yeah, let's go for a walk later. It's really nice out. It would be good to stretch my legs. Do you think we did the right thing? Feel bad not doing what Mom asked for.
I know, honey, but what that Chad guy said seems right. We don't want to dishonor her memory by letting her rot.
Yeah, I just want Mom to know I loved her. Wish I hadn't yelled at her before.
It's okay. She knew you loved her. Fights happen. Please don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss her.
Me too.
So Mike's gone now. Or Matthew.
Matthew, yeah.
Yeah. Oh! Oh!
Oh,
Oh!
from Amy Rose.
Charlie dear, I'm so proud of you. I knew there was something special in you when I hired you for Rose and Daughters. If there's anything I can do for you, please do not hesitate to ask. I'm always happy to help. Best wishes, Amy Rose. P.S. I sorely miss you and Matthew's terrible sense of humor.
Hey, Charlie. When I first became a hearse driver, I was told that my most important job wasn't steering. It was sympathizing. I respectfully fucking disagree. And thankfully that I concentrated on my driving skills, since I'm now working as a, wait for it, bus driver. A school bus driver, Charlie. Can you believe that? Pretty sure if I said the most important part of my job now wasn't steering, I'd be fired immediately. I didn't know how else to tell you. For some reason I was worried you'd think less of me, but I don't know why. You've never been the judgmental kind. And besides, corpses are way easier to deal with than children. Screaming children, might I add. I actually love it. These kids can be pretty cute. But don't tell Amy that I told you that. She was always harping on me for not having any kids and for being all cynical about them. Congrats on your new business, Charlie. I'm proud of you. I'll swing by your new place one day to show you my new wheels. Maybe we can grab a bite to eat. Be seeing ya.
Congratulations on your new business!
Charlie, I'm so happy for you. I know it's been a rough year for you. Seriously, I think our wine intake saw a bazillion% increase. But you've stuck through it all like a champ. You deserve this. Finally being your own boss is a great move for you. No more having to explain anything you don't want to. I'm trying to not be so cheesy right now. Can't wait to be home next week for our visit and to check out your new space. Always, Jen L. Hart, Museum Curator, London Pathology Museum. P.S. Have you heard about these green burial pods? When I find the link in my 1 million open tabs, I'll shoot it over to you.
This is our new place,
Oh.
Magnolia Forest.
Notice the prices, not 10,000.
Yeah. And offers green burial. And wow, cremation's just.
It's not much. Really.
And infants are free. Not like getting a massive disposal license with the hospital. From Eileen Hansen. Dear Charlie, today's the day already, isn't it? I can't believe how quickly this has come up. Thank you for your understanding and your work. You've made today easier already. See you at 1 p.m. Let's go.
Are we not preparing a body?
I think we're preparing a body?
Oh.
Oh!
Okay.
This hurts. I thought it'd be easier. It's not. Hurts so much. Thank you for helping me give her a funeral she always wanted. Anyway, I think we're ready to just get started now. I think this is the end of the game. I can no longer interact. It's playing a song. Huh. It's like 8 people.
The Order of the Good Death. That's that YouTuber.
Ah!
I was wondering why there were so many parallels.
Don't recognize any of these people. But they mentioned a lot of Canadian things, so.
Pets. Meredith, Bastion, B, Future, Luna, and Tyler.
Got a grant.
This is Canadian content. No,
You're
thank
welcome.
You. Thank you.
Alright, let's go back to booth. Have a little chit chat. I'll leave the ambient music on.
So how do you feel about that?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it was kind of slow and had a lot to think about.
Methodical a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's kind of the point, right?
Yeah, I think it definitely kind of succeeded in both, like, informing and being engaging.
I think that was about the size you would want a game like this to be.
It was
Right.
like slightly under 2 hours.
It didn't really overstay,
Yeah,
right?
and we didn't get into anything raunchy and nothing was displayed as gross. I think there's fluids, but very clean fluids.
I would kind of hope that it would be a clean affair in a mortuary situation like that.
Well, I mean, I've played some, like, CSI games and, like, Trauma Center and all these other, and Surgeon Simulator, and they're all, like, a little bit grody.
I think Surgeon Simulator's a bit more than a little.
Depends on how well you're doing. I
Yep.
mean,
Fair. You can really make a mess if you don't know what you're doing.
Wildpeak says that they're glad it didn't gamify the body's preparation. Slightly worried about that.
Yeah.
Like there's,
It was like a to-do list, but they didn't time you or anything or score
and you don't get
you.
points.
Yeah, you didn't
There's
get
no points in the whole game. Like it was just like experience the process.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We can take another break and either come back with something else if you want that, because
You have options.
I played a little bit more of Hypnospace Outlaw, so I'm a little further ahead, but that might be a little bit too whiplashy, so we could just end the stream here. Do you want to go through the subs and whatnot?
Yeah, we could do that now while we're here.
Yeah.
So I'll start with Cringinx. Just subscribed. Thank you for your support.
Dugma, 57-month resub. The Heinz resub. Secret ingredients.
Oh, okay, that's what that is. Variable Vacancy subscribed for 23 months. Thank you.
Katakasiul, just subscribed. Welcome to the channel.
0x6772 just subscribed. Thank you.
Ferocious Peach, subscribed for 41 months. Just learned more about embalming than I ever thought I would. Lol.
I mean, a lot of us learn about it in the end.
Yeah.
Malady Dark, or Malady Dark, subscribed for 21 months. Will it still be the mix of Corey, Matt, and Cam after the schedule update? I hope so.
Yep. That shouldn't be affected. It's just earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Just 1 second.
Literally just the schedule.
Winterfae, 16-month resub. Yay, Twitch unmarked my sub. Glad to be able to get back in lure again.
Woo! Great. It worked out well here because it's Team Goat Token subscribing for 9 months. Thank you for coming back.
Go Amp Dog 2, 100 bits. Saying hi. Just 100 bits.
With a heart, you know.
Yeah.
A nice little cute heart. Cry121 subscribed for 16 months. Thank you for your ongoing support.
Azaraphale Shop just subscribed. Thank you for subbing.
Coggy9 just subscribed. Thank you for subbing as well.
Unusually Large Moth just subscribed for 8 months. As a blessing for a month from Subbaby. As a blessing for a month from Subbaby Lur, may your pillows be soft and plush and cool and comfy, and may your sleep be restful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, yeah.
I feel blessed by that sub. Entei Crackshore subscribed for 55 months. It's not really embalming if they didn't use Worcestershire sauce as the embalming fluid. I'm not English. I don't know their traditions. I'm not gonna...
You gotta get sauced.
Yeah, I'm not gonna kink shame. I don't know. Anyway, you want to go to commercial?
Yeah.
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 All right. See you in a few.
Alright, so you and I played Her Story together.
Yes.
And I came in on Sunday to play a little bit more of Hypnospace Outlaw. And it reminds me at this stage of the game of endgame Her Story.
Oh, you're just kind of cleaning up the stuff you missed?
Yep, basically.
Yeah.
It's 20 years in the future. And there's an archive team working on downloading information from the special headsets. And so what I have is access to all of the pages
This is like...
from all of the different time periods in the game.
That looks one-to-one like Her Story.
Yeah.
Archives.
And like, whoops, what did I just... No, open app. Okay, so yeah, if you click on these, it tells me what the page is. The main interface of the game is this little search bar. Like, so if I look for cream, I can go to the page with the... But in the future, wait, open this. In the year 20XX, the page is just gone. Like, there's no internet connection. I can no longer report things. The home space is just the space for the archive team. There's a lost and found, where people made requests for things that I had to try to track down through the files. I'm looking for this last thing, which is the eye cult.
There's always an eye cult somewhere.
Yeah. The other thing I'm trying to track down is evidence that the company, Merchant Soft, had information about the headsets causing damage to people before there was an incident.
Merchant Soft?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, it's Merchant Soft. So, back in time. This page is how far I've tracked down the eyeball to Horus. The Horus tag got me here, and it wants a password.
Horus?
I don't think that's the password, but I could try it. No.
I love Horus. Horus is cool.
Okay.
But
So
Tush?
I can search. I can search in the bar like her story for tush or butt.
yeah.
I don't
Bottom.
know, I don't know if butt gets me. It might get me
It
hot butter
should.
ice cream.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it might. God, hot butter ice cream. Granny cream.
That's the hot butter ice cream.
Okay.
And then Zane Sucks Club is this kid Corey's page.
So it's a hate shrine.
Little hate shrine on the internet, yeah. And if it goes into the future, the page is gone because I reported it earlier as harassment. If I go to what day am I on? Let's go back to like the beginning. And in Teentopia, if I go to like where is he? Where is our boy? Corey's house. This is Corey's house.
Yep, that looks.
He totally made up having a girlfriend. And we go over time, and you can see him apologize for his harassment. And we can see him apologizing for making up a girlfriend. And then there's a note from like his mom, I think, later on.
Oh God, your mom writing on
People's
your blog.
moms write on their stuff, and other things like that. So I'm just trying to track down
The eye.
what the password could be for this eye.
I saw a lot of, at least at first glance, empty spots in the archive.
in the archive thing.
Are they all supposed to be full?
I'm working on filling them up. They're either green or blue or yellow if I've found them, but if I haven't gone to the page with my headset, which has like an archive of all of the pages, you can see the 30%. It started at like 4%. See
That
if
one's
I know
more
of any
full.
pages I haven't gone to. But that's that for this time period, for November 5th.
Maricat is asking, did you get the Thanksgiving password list yet?
The Thanksgiving password list. No. No. I have access to file list. I have the F list.
Also,
access.
by the way, I've only seen this much of the game.
Yeah.
I want to get this game for myself.
You can get little dashboard apps and stuff. Like, there's my downloads.
Virus ideas.
Yeah. There's a kid named Tim, and in his private stuff, he
Butts disease. Make all windows say butts. Fart noises?
he actually did that, and I actually got infected
Oh, nice.
with the butt disease. I didn't get this one. I don't know if he ever actually did it.
Steal from the rich and give to the poor kind of thing.
Robin Hood.
Nude professor helper? Something with pets? Nude? Whoa.
Yeah. So I just found this text file on the internet.
Why would you host that on the internet?
Here's all the tunes, like the Winamp.
Untitled. I know that song.
Come on. You monster.
Do you have to hit play?
No, it's...
Oh, that's weird. I like the Winamp.
Yeah, there's
skins
also
there.
this thing, which is like an ambient soundscape generator. Like, you can get these soundscapes, and then it...
Kind of goes through it.
Let me volume up a little. Whoops. How much warble?
So we're trying to make a synth wave happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get into this.
The other thing I'm looking for is a program that unarchives things, because I found several times in some people's files this thing, but it's compressed.
So you want to uncompress.
Yeah. And then the utility is called Sandwich.
Of course it is. And then to encode it is dip, because then you dip the sandwich. And then you have a lovely beef dip. This seems like it is surprisingly all over the place, but in a way that works probably.
Yeah.
But
Like I think it kind of generally correctly emulates
this environment.
this environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the eye. Horace. Looking for clues.
What was your last, I guess, hint?
Whoops. Why did I pick this page? There's also this thing. If I had... I think there's an upgrade for HypnoCure, which is the antivirus program, that might fix this corrupted looking page. And then there's something called NetSettler, which is an old browser that I might get access to. I don't know.
I'm seeing on the tags here, baby and soft.
Baby soft. Baby. Of course. What do I get? Oh yeah, Horace is the one that gets me to the Children of Horace page, but there was one other page that had that tag. Right. So there's also some Christian Ministries stuff. And it's like, hey, this snaky thing has the Eye of Horus.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like the eye image embedded in a bunch of other images around the site.
Yeah.
Like I think in the main merchant soft stuff.
There was one called Open Eye there.
Yeah, that's like the spiritualism stuff. You can look at this page over time. It says check back here because things will be cool. They never did. This guy sucks.
Does he?
Yeah,
Why does he Why does he suck? Why does Dylan suck?
he sucks. I'm not gonna get into it.
Remember? One image missing.
Yeah.
PR guy brought in to clean up the big old mess.
He started making a page for like teen stuff. Chowderman's helicopter crashed at a concert, and
Okay.
let me stop the synth soundscape.
Chowder man's doing bad. Chowder man's feeling sad. Chowder man is not enough. Chowder man's burning out. This chowder life is going south. These chowder days ain't the same anymore. The chowder man, please come back home.
Oh, Chowderman just lost a leg in the crash.
Oh.
Uh,
Okay.
I think Cuff was the drummer, but I don't know. That was if I search for Eric Hellman.
I saw another search there. Muscle Boys?
In, here?
Yeah.
Ah. Yeah. Nah, sometimes
Only
it's
the
just the one page.
Yeah.
Freak sheets.
What? 3 ones.
Got some...
Linda Horror?
Yeah. Right?
Okay. She likes teeth.
Yeah, I think she likes teeth. None of her tags are teeth.
Yeah.
Archive.
I feel like there'd be a lot there, right? No, just those two?
I don't know where to look. So maybe I should actually buy the update for HypnoCure.
Have you tried horse?
Just horse.
Huh.
No.
No horses. It's a bad game. There are no horses.
But they've got squishers.
What are you gonna show me on this internet?
Squishers
Oh, with this
are really cool. Squishers.
Okay. Way better than it could have been.
Squishers.
You've got to collect them all. You've got to collect them all.
They totally came out with a Pokemon. It's Squishers Pokemon. Squishers Quest. Yeah. Is there a Squishers Quest?
Right there.
Right there. Because I can show you the... maybe, yeah. Yeah, see? Squishers Quest.
That's just Pokemon. Like, unabashedly,
Yeah.
just Pokemon.
Just Pokemon. Glossy JPEGs.
Heavy gloss right there. God, imagine living in a world where Pokemon were called Squishers.
This girl is deeply into Jesus, but also into Squishers, and you saw that Squishers might just be a gateway to Satan, so
Obviously.
yeah. Rapture. Okay.
Have you tried names of other Egyptian gods?
No, I have not. What do we got?
Isis?
Isis? Let's search for Isis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, nothing for that. Maybe
Osiris?
Ibis?
Sorry?
Osiris? Osiris?
Yeah. No. What was that other one you had?
I said Ibis.
I think that's the type
That's
of
a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jackal? Jackal?
Jaquel. Ra.
Set? Anubis? Anubis. I also don't know if the search is limited to the date I'm
You haven't figured that.
I haven't figured that out.
Okay.
But like the children of Horus is old.
Mm.
Hatshepsut.
Hatshepsut?
Hatshepsut.
That's not a god, though.
Hatshepsut. It's what, queen?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
pharaoh, but... I mean, there's Ra, there's...
Gesundheit. I don't think that's gonna. Yeah, that's a little short.
Mm. Iris, maybe?
Iris,
Related to
Iris
Eye?
is the Greek goddess of rainbows.
Well, I was just thinking related to Eye, but... Sclera?
Sclera.
Hmm.
What if I just search for I? No. Too short. 3y3 though? No. Bastet.
Bastet, yeah.
Get
The
them
cat one.
Cats.
I keep seeing HS, and I know it means hypnospace here. Have you looked up Homestuck?
Have I heard the good word of Homestuck? actually, let me do. Okay.
No
No, but I
results.
should show you Zane's comic.
Sorry.
Zane 14, Zane Rocks, has a comic. Secret page.
What kind of comic?
There it is. There it is.
Okay. It's just like Homestuck.
It's just like Homestuck.
Exactly like Homestuck. That's one sweet bro right there.
Uh-huh. He's hella Zane. And yeah, there's other ones. I think Through the Future, or is it a different $1?
Yeah, what other leads do you have, I guess? Have you looked up Demon? I know there's lots of like religious stuff here, it seems like.
Yeah, it's just like this Lookout Ministries gave me Horus.
Mm-hmm. Year 2000 is coming. Oh my god.
Yeah. How to be saved. Yep. Yep. Congratulations.
I'm an honorary member of the family of God.
So what I'm actually going to look for is pictures that have the
The eye?
eye in them.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can buy this. Because I think this will...
Downloading HypnoCure Placita.
Yes, I can download things from my archive.
Hmm.
Yay!
Cure me, baby.
Can I cure? I'm good. But I
Okay.
think it's supposed to refresh pages that have...
The weird glitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a lead, at least.
Yeah. Sticker packs, desktops.
Those seem unnecessary. Your morning forecast is null? Why?
Because I can't connect to the net.
Oh.
Partners.
Ear mint gum for ear and mouth.
Yeah. Minty freshness in your ears. Can I... ear mint?
This is why you have to tag your content. Do they have AO3 on here?
There is poetry, and some fictional stuff, but not a lot.
Mm. I mean, if you have teen forums, you're gonna get poetry and fiction.
That's about it.
Yeah. So you have that I lead.
Yeah, but that's about it. Other than that, like, I'm supposed to be looking for references to the company knowing crap, but that involves stuff that isn't like directly searchable.
Yeah.
Actually, let me look for sandwich. See if I can uncompress. Because I think Roddy made the software. He also has the fan stuff about some comic book characters named Taurus and Mileto, who is a cape.
Hmm.
Sandwich update. Sandwich encryption. Can't legally. Virtual pets. Pet project.
Was that a lead you followed already?
Virtual pets?
Yeah.
I had Alice the hamster for a while, but that sucked. I
Oh.
haven't followed it for looking for on encryption stuff.
Hmm. Hmm. This game definitely seems harder than her story.
It is. You have to actually read stuff. Doop, doop, boop, boop. Isn't officially supported by HypnoS. Maybe a way to decrypt locked sandwich files. Have to chit-chat me for information. Roddy Wall. Maybe also be able to help. He's currently working in Hypnospace as a virtual pets game. Has a page in Hypnospace. So maybe I should look for pets?
Maybe?
Because I
Or Roddy
do...
Wall, at least.
Yeah. I found his files in FList, which is a file hosting, like Usenet kind of site. So here's Roddy's stuff. And the only extra thing that he has other than his fan art of
Downloading
Balls.
Taurus_whip_2. 1.
is a prototype for a pet that he was working on called Test Pet.
Downloading
I did
test
see
pet.
I multiple
1.
times there.
Yeah, and I've got that file, I just can't open it. That's the compressed sandwich file.
Mm.
So maybe I should install Test Pet. Did I just get Butts disease?
I thought you had the cure for that.
I do, but doesn't mean. Oh, here it is. Oh no, it pooped. I have to drag the poop away.
Okay.
Now what happens?
Do you hold down on it?
What is it doing?
I mean, it's an eye.
Yeah, this is the other character from that thing. If I double click on my desktop, it's supposed to follow. But other than that, it just poops. Just poops. Like maybe I can open the thing now? That's my download manager.
And what was the thing you needed to get to
Sandwich.
sandwich? And you don't have that.
No. I don't have that, but this is Roddy's secret files.
Mm. And you have accelerator there?
Yeah, that's Axe Accelerator, which is supposed to make my download speeds. I haven't enabled it. Let me enable it.
It probably does nothing.
What else do I got? What else?
Like the yellow ones are done, the blue ones aren't.
The blue ones are also done. The red ones aren't.
Okay.
The red ones, I just don't even know what these are. The blue ones are just unlisted for the public. So you have to get there.
They're illegal.
You have to get there from somewhere else.
You've visited a lot of pages already.
Yeah.
Do you know if it's possible to visit 100%?
I don't know. I don't know. I also don't know what, like, the front page is in every time period. Oh my god. I will uninstall you if you keep pooping on my desktop. You. Garbage. 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 How do I uninstall this test pet? This is pets. Pet, pet, pet. Go away. Yes.
Bye.
Bye. What else have I got? Settings, this help video.
Welcome to Hypnospace Patrol Department Enforcer Training.
Yeah.
You have the front page there.
Yeah.
don't you? Yeah. Oh.
Or, well,
Oh,
no,
never
not in
mind.
this, but I have it there. Wait. I have it in one of them. Hey! Hypnospace Central. I also don't know what's going on here.
It's troubleshooting. That's
And
weird.
I still cannot get Chit Chat, which is an application for chatting.
That seems like it's important because several things are pointing to it, right?
Yeah, I just can't. I can't install it with my game set up. I would need a different browser.
Can you get that different browser?
No.
Like it's, that's weird.
I can also make the robot read stuff
If
to
you
me.
can't figure out how to access the login link below, you definitely don't belong here.
Have you looked up Minx as a tag?
This is the only result.
It is.
Minx is referenced by other people when talking about like hacker stuff.
That's a long page with nothing underneath
Like
it.
there's stuff in the background, like when this stuff scrolls over it. You can sometimes see the letters.
That's weird.
Yeah. But yeah, that's as far as I've gotten.
Well, where else could you go? You have those leads, but do you have anything that is not an open lead that seemed like it had other branches to go off to, just willy-nilly? Just like this didn't seem important, but it's there, kind of thing? No?
No. Kind of exhausted stuff, so I might as well just listen to Hot Butter Ice Cream. Or some other Chatterman music. Members of the SAI Freelance. I know that place. He does van art, and you can adopt a dragon. sound effects. Oh yeah, here's this thing. And my stuff did not help with this.
It looked like you could click on that. Oh,
I can click on the faces, they don't have pages.
guess there's no.
Yeah.
What tags are we going to use?
Cool Punk is a music thing. Music community.
With the ear mint stuff.
That's new. That's new as of this year.
Hmm.
Because it's not. It was Gray Peak beforehand. Gray's Peak. Sodas. Here's Cool Fest.
Cool Fest 99 with Chatterman and Freezer.
Yep, Chatterman Freezer. And remember the life of Chatterman drummer Cuff Johnson. I think Cuff died in the helicopter accident. Oh, this is Chatterman's intro.
Guess who's back?
He changed the name of his band.
Guess who's back? I know you missed me. Crunch is here. There ain't no way you're gonna forget me.
Maybe I should look up Cruncher.
Go for it.
Cruncher.
Real Chatterman and Gil's
Ready to shave page.
Is that new?
I haven't seen it. Although there is a song about shaving that Chatterman did.
Whiskers growing at the speed light. Put the trimmer into overdrive. Thoughts are running through my mind. Just a bathroom in the night. Spray the shaving cream into my hand. Lather up the world, don't understand. Man inside the mirror now. Should I finally let him out?
And then
Is this Punch Up the Jam? This webpage.
What does 1980s get me?
Aldrin's House of Sound. Was that the one we were just on?
No, this one's the one that scans stuff. These are images, so there's alt text with the text in them.
That's nice.
The legitimacy of haze as a genre is something I've long wrestled with.
There's
Its lauded
dirt
albums
haze.
just don't have
Glamo
enough sonic consistency to
Caster or
comfortably live under one banner.
Plasm is the name of the band.
Glamoplasm by Florida Act Glamacaster. To my ears,
Glamacaster is the
conjures
band.
such a distinct listening experience that it should, by all rights, define something.
Noise Pusher
It's too
is
distorted and guitar-centric to fit well with most.
Dylan Merchant. And I found out that because I reported him a bunch and he emailed me and stuff like that.
Why did you report him?
Because he uploaded copyright music and was distributing it. Things like the Trennis theme and some of the Chowderman stuff. And that whole Glamacaster album. Say Flist.
List. There's a lot going on here, and it's really hard to find the relevant stuff.
Yeah.
Huh.
But like I said, I just wanted to show the chat kind of how the game developed after I did my stream, because it was interesting how they
This
sort of
seems
changed their aesthetic over time.
This seems like a game that is easy to do the first bit of,
Yeah.
really hard to get to 100.
Like, I've technically finished the game, because this is after 20 years in the future. And I'm no longer doing the same stuff, but...
Huh. Is this your emails?
Yeah. Emails and cases. This is what I'm currently working on.
Merchant Soft Admission of Guild. That feels kind of weird to look into that on hypnospace. Like, you're risking yourself.
Yep.
Effects. Huh. Like that one you're done with?
No.
No?
No. These ones are open.
Huh.
Yeah. So, thank you all for joining us today on Talking Simulator. I'll be back with Cameron next week. Maybe. Thank you for subscribing. Lord of the Froze for 45 months. 45 net months seems a little high to me, but whatevs. Love you all.
It's only going to get higher, hopefully, for us, honestly. So, but yeah, that game, I'm interested in looking into, and it's on Steam, obviously.
Yes.
How would you get to 100%?
I don't know. You have to, because you have to like look at clues on people's pages and then use those clues to find things. Some of the, you have to use their like user IDs to find where their Usenet postings are, and not everyone has one. So
Well, they should, to make it easy on us.
yeah.
Inconsiderate. Anyway, did you have any other thoughts on?
I'm still thinking about the Mortician's Tale, but I feel like that'll take a lot of time to kind of process.
It takes a lot of time to mourn and grieve, and I'm gonna give you the space you need.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
You can make me dinner. That would help.
But I'm not that good. I'll try.
All right. Thank you all for hanging out, being with us.
Mhm. It's been a pleasant journey through death and life and hypnospace. We'll see you next